John Wallace, Wild Game Cook. Today we're going to be making some venison Italian sausage using our LEM packet. We've got our natural hog casings. You could use collagen. I prefer the natural hog casings when I'm making my sausages. Last fall, I went ahead and pre-packaged this into a 4-pound mixture, and I made a note to add 1 pound of fat. So once we cut our fat right here and add it to our bowl, we'll have our 4-to-1, making a 5-pound total mixture for our Italian sausage. You could increase your percentage of fat for this if you wanted a little bit fattier sausage. We're using pork fat today. I get this from a local grocery store. They charge me $1 per pound. I'm pretty lucky in that way. You could use pork shoulder or pork butt, which is going to incorporate more meat into your venison. This is going to give us more of a straight venison with a little bit of pork fat into the mixture type of an approach. We're simply going to take this, we're going to make sure it's in good sizes for the grinder, we're going to mix in the fat, we're going to grind it out, we're going to mix in our seasoning. You can then repurpose this, put your stuffing tube on here, and use your grinder to make sausage. If you're going to do that, I can't recommend enough the LEM foot pedal so that you can control the speed in which the meat goes into the casings. What really got me over the hump of making cased sausages was buying a dedicated stuffer, which you're going to see us use here today. If you can buy one of those, you can make summer sausage, brats, Italian sausage, snack sticks, breakfast sausage, a lot of great options. So we're going to go ahead and get this meat out and start getting it ready for the grinder. As we're cutting up our meat and we're adding the fat to it, I'm just kind of eyeballing it to get it spread out evenly. We're eventually going to mix this by hand anyways, so the fat will be well distributed. When you're using these natural hog casings, they're in a salt solution, a salt water solution. So you want to soak these in warm water at least 30 minutes prior to making your sausage. We've already got a batch here soaking. That's a good time saver to get that done and out of the way and have it sitting there. We're going to go ahead and grind our meat, and then we'll eventually add in our seasoning with our 5 ounces of water. Plug in our grinder. As I'm putting it into the grinder, I'm just kind of eyeballing it to make sure that I'm putting the appropriate amount of fat in as the meat drops. It's recommended 20% fat ratio. I wouldn't go any less than that, but you could go more than that if you desired. To make sure we've got everything out of the chute, I'm going to go ahead and add some back into the auger. I'll know when this makes its way back through, when it's more combined. The fat and the meat is more formed a better union. This is LEM's dual grind adapter. And as you can see from here to here, this is in a sense 2 grinds. This is in a sense 4 grinds. So it's just better incorporated the fat into the meat. We're gonna mix this all by hand. I'm gonna unplug my grinder, take all this meat out, and we'll start making our sausage. So we've got our venison and our pork fat mixture here. We've got our 5 ounces of water. We're gonna go ahead and add our seasoning. Give that a good stir. This LEM Italian sausage is available in sweet and hot. In our house, we prefer the sweet Italian sausage. I'm gonna make sure this is well incorporated. The recipe does call for 5 ounces of water. I did short myself a little bit here on the water because as I pour this in here, a little bit of that salt and seasoning is gonna be in this. I'm just gonna give it a quick little splash, slosh it around, and make sure we got all of our seasoning out of it. We're just gonna get into it. You can see the fennel seeds in there. We're gonna mix this around really good. Once you get more comfortable making your own sausage, you can definitely look into recipes as to how to build your own spice blend for sausages. With our lifestyle and how busy we are toting kids around, I just found it so much easier to use these backwoods seasoning packets from LEM. They're available on MidwayUSA.com. We're gonna mix this until it starts to get tacky, and then we're gonna drop it into our stuffer. Again, as I mentioned, you could totally make sausage with your grinder. It's just a little bit more difficult. It's not as efficient. This stuffer here, I'm gonna put everything in there. It's just gonna make life a lot easier. All right, so now that it's tacky, we're gonna kind of form it into a big giant football. And I like to kind of throw it down in here so it gets rid of as much air pockets as possible. And you get the air pockets in there, not that it's a big deal, but they will transfer into your casings. And again, not a big deal. But if you want them to look nice and cook properly, try to get as much of the air out as you can. All right, so now we're gonna load up the stuffer. Sometimes if your mixture's a little full, it may start to come out the sides. No big deal. You can always add it back in later. You could always cook it separately. But we're gonna go ahead and get this started. You'll start to see it come out the chute here. Take a little bit of back pressure off. What I like to do is kind of wet down the track here because that's where the sausages are gonna end up and slosh around. We're gonna check out our casings. You wanna be very careful with these, as if you get them too tangled up, they get knotted up and they're very difficult to take off of here. So not only are we soaking them from the outside, but once we get the ones that we wanna use off of this ring, we're also gonna hook them up to our sink. Think back to your childhood when you used to make water balloons. We're just gonna kind of hook it up to the faucet and allow some warm water to run through the insides of these casings. This package of hog casings does 20 to 25 pounds of sausage. One of the benefits of making those pre-made 4-pound mixtures is if you want to have a sausage party, you can make your brats, your Polish sausage, your Italian sausage, all in one day. which really saves on time. So we're going to get these rinsed off in the center and get to making some sausage. Once your casings are washed, you bring them over here, carefully just thread them on to your stuffing tube. It takes a minute to get it centered up. You want to try to keep this casing right here lined up in the center of this hole, and it goes on effortlessly. If it's not going on effortlessly, take a second, breathe, realign the center of the casing, and it'll go on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and bring our sausage to the end of this tube. Take the back pressure off. We're going to pull it off the center here. We're just going to tie a knot. Nothing fancy, just tie a knot. Try not to have as much air in there as possible. I'm going to grab a knife. Just give this a little poke so that some air can escape. And you're simply just at your own speed going to allow this to fill up and then get to the length you want. And I like to talk out loud. So I say, I'm going to spin this away. Do a couple of twists. Do the next one. I spun away, so now I'm going to spin 2. I'm going to spin 2 myself. And this keeps it from unraveling throughout the process. So I spun 2, so now my next one is going to spin away. There's faster ways to do this. By no means am I a pro, but I'm telling you, these are going to be great. The presentation looks great. And it's another way to eat your deer meat other than just steaks, roast, spaghetti, meatloaf. So spun away, spun 2, spun away, spun 2. It's easy to lose track, and I might even lose track. That one spun 2. This one spins away. This one spins 2. If you have a family with multiple kids, different ages, and you want to make some sausages smaller, make some smaller. You want to make some bigger, make some bigger. If you want to make it all one long, continuous spiral of a sausage, you're welcome to do that too. At any point, you can kind of just cut this here and get rid of any excess so it's not in your way. If you do spin the wrong direction, as I just did there, you'll realize that your previous one starts to become undone. So I spun that one too. And spun this one away. On this one here, a little back pressure, we got down to the end of our casing, our first one. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different links. We're just going to keep finishing them out until this entire stuffer is gone. We're about halfway right now. So we'll see you back here in a minute. All right, so we're almost out. What I also wanted to show you too is you could totally take all of this mixture and you can make bulk sausage. So you can use this for your spaghetti, you can use this for meatloaf, you could use this for patties. Anywhere you would use Italian sausage, you could totally do it in bulk form, put it in your wild game bags, simply side your LEM wild game bag over this and get it out of there. You could cook this tonight. So instead of having to worry about getting another deal to put it in the casing, you've got bulk or your cased Italian sausage. For these, you're simply gonna let them hang out in the fridge for a little bit. We can grill them, you can smoke them, you can cook them in a pan as you would any other sausage. Once you're done, you come in here like this and you slice each one. And you put them in your vac seal bags for the freezer. I mean, there's your Italian sausage right there. It's that easy. The biggest thing for me after processing wild game for 8 years before I made case sausages was getting a dedicated stuffer. Once I did that, making these sorts of things, making summer sausage was a breeze. You could use collagen casings. My suggestion is use natural hog casings. I hope this inspires you to make your own case sausages. Check us next time on the next recipe on MidwayUSA.com.